Alright, to anyone watching this video, this is the Queets River, which I have just crossed here in Olympic National Park. We're on the North Shore. Parking lot is on the South Shore. First, I want to introduce myself again. I'm Tail Gunner, name I've given myself since I always have to stay behind the slowest scout in the troop. However, today we are going solo, just myself and my Garmin InReach. So we are here in Olympic National Park. Nice day, first week of September. I would say we just came across the river there, about a little bit over knee deep in the middle. Trekking poles help with the rapids. And slowly spin around. Head a few yards up trail here, and we will get around the next bend to the official welcome sign of the Queets Trail, wherever it is. There's a sign telling us where we are and where we're going. I'm not going to video a lot today. I've got to get up to Bob's Creek, which is 9 miles up. It's already after 1 o'clock, so I'm probably, with my speed, probably going to roll in there pretty close to sunset. About an hour and a half, mile and a half per hour with fairly heavy pack. I'm going in for a number of days, so I have a lot of food. Also got a few more electronics than I normally have, so a little heavier than normal here. This is a trail I've done before. Section I've done in videotape before, so I may actually use some of that old video from last year. Tomorrow I will get new video. Alright, we are now about 2 miles up the trail from the last video. This video is actually from 2019, but the recording here is from 2020. We're entering what I personally refer to as the Savanah of the Queets. I don't think anyone else refers to it as that way, but as you can see, coming into this large field, grassy field, brown grasses, reminds me of what I would think the savanna would look like. Sometimes I almost expect a lion to come out of the grass here, but so far we have crossed the field safely multiple times. I have seen evidence of large animals bedding down here tonight, probably elk and stuff, but actually not seen the animals themselves, just the bedded down grass. I'm not sure why this field exists. It's surrounded on all sides by dense forest. I'm not sure if this actually could have been from a homestead prior to the national park being here or not. Also, I have taken the opportunity in the past to come to a dead stop and just listen to the forest for 10 minutes or so. And it's quite an experience if you have the time coming through here. For this video and for today, we are pushing through. If you actually want to jump ahead, it's about 8 minutes, so you can jump ahead 8 minutes and not bother watching me cross the field. But for those who just want to B-roll walking the field, you can continue watching. Alright, I'm going to stop the recording here.
Okay, I have gone past the ribbon blazes marking the detour route, so I'm actually on a section of trail that has been closed off. I'm coming up here toward the river. I'm pretty sure this is where the river washed out the trail and the trail dropped into the river. So a few more steps, we should be up to the washout, looking down into the Queets River. So as I said, this is sort of a area of the trail that the last couple of years has been constantly washing out. The river is marching from the far side this way. The trail's washed out multiple times. They finally put in a detour route, thanks to our trail crew for blazing that. So I'm going to look over the river here and then backtrack to the detour.
Movement on the right. Don't see any deer or anything. Thought I saw ears of a deer. Log jam down there has sent the river another direction. Noise on the left, I think it's just wind knocking trees together. It's Sunday, so afternoon, early, but I'm far enough in that anyone out here for the weekend is not up this far. Anyone I run into will be like me out here for several days. Detour. Yeah. We will be taking the detour route here, it looks like. Alright, so a little preview of wilderness camping, so using some of my experience from scouts and everything. We are here at the edge of the Queets River out there. I pan around this way, you actually can see, there it is, my nap spot there. Actually, it's plain to set the tent up there later tonight, but the wind has come up, and a couple of these trees around here are knocking together, and I don't think anything's going to fall on me or anything, but I just don't like sleeping under trees knocking together. So I actually may take the tent later, and there's either a sandbar over there or there's a sandbar over there. Oh, sorry for that quick move, but I may go sit up on one of those sandbars at dusk and be absolutely certain that nothing is going to fall on me during the night. Even though I'm certain nothing will fall on me here, but that way the trees can knock together during the night and I won't lose any sleep over that. So anyway, this is the sleeping area. So the trick is to leave distances between sleeping areas and other areas that might attract critters. So we are taking a little walk along here, back over here. So the only thing in the sleeping area is my tent and obviously the same bag and pads and clothing that I want. Actually, it'll be most of the clothing. My pack actually is over here, as you can see. And also, I got this little log here, and you can see this is where I cook. There's my pots, and below it, the little red backpacking stove I use. Love the little pocket rocket there. But I cook over here, sort of about 50 feet away from where I'm sleeping, so that back here, there it is. If any critters were attracted to this is where I also eat. So I eat in cook in a different area, so any food of smell would attract any critters to this area rather than over there. Right now you can see down a little ways down there, I think you can make it out, I've got my food bag is hung up temporarily there, mainly to keep it out of mice and rodents there. It's obviously way too low, though it is a Kevlar bag. The bear would have a hard time getting into it, but it's way too low. What I will do after I'm done with it tonight is, after I've used everything I want I'll put not only the food in there, but any smellables such as bug deterrent, sunscreen, deodorants, anything I might have that would have a smell. And I will take it across this stream bed here, and I will find a tree over there and throw a rope over a branch and get it at least 10 feet off the ground. So that's what I would be doing in a couple hours. And actually, as you saw where the river was, I'm camped right by the river. The trail is actually on the other side of this grove of trees. So I'm about 200, 300 feet off trail right here. So sometimes you're walking down the trail, everything's going good, nice smooth trail, looking around, and then suddenly, bam! Somebody drops a 6-foot diameter tree in your way. Well, this is when you stop and reassess the situation. Do you go over it? Can't go under it? Or do you go around it? Tailgunner here, second day of our hike up the Queets River. The Queets River is somewhere beyond that tree line, but we've been in thick forest all morning, but we have broken out into this expanse of meadow here. Not quite sure what type of trees are. These might be spruce, I'm not sure, because they look like what was at Spruce Bottoms. But keeping my eye out for anything other wildlife out here. I've not seen any wildlife, including humans today. But most of the morning's been in thick forest. I actually was off trail intentionally for a period of time. Amazing how difficult. It was not like this. It was really difficult to get through. But that was in order to not backtrack from where I stayed last night. But just sought this nice big open meadow. Sort of looking like could be a lunch spot. I'm not sure of how much longer I'm going to go before I have lunch, but this could be one heck of a lunch spot. Alright. And again, thank you to all our trail crew who cut all these big thick logs. When I was off trail, getting over these things was a pain. Alright, once board around, looks like we were all alone here. No humans, no bears, no elk. So we will see you all later. Alright, we are having a fun time today. I have just successfully crawled underneath this thing here. There's about maybe 2 feet of clearance, if that. It's of course on a slope downhill. Now for the more adventurous, there are people who are going along the drop-off and scaling the drop-off past where this tree ends. Although it's a very steep drop-off where you've got to have the little oomph to make sure you get up that when you're going back up. I actually elected to take off my pack and slide under since I tried it with the pack on, and that it was nowhere close to working. Alright, so looks like we are beyond most of the trail crew for this year. Yay! Alright, that's where I just came from, and I thought the last couple challenges were a little bit, well, they were fun. They were doable. Now I'm going to spin around and show you what I just ran into. We have just run into this. I need to back up a little bit here. You just back up here a little bit. Yeah. That's like 10 feet high. I can't tell, there's one huge tree that's split into multiple parts. I think that's what it is. But, and it's massive. It goes off into the woods 100 to 200 feet that direction. I just walked around the root ball that way without my pack on. And it was challenging. I got through and I got back. It's sketchy. I'm here by myself. I'm not seeing another person all day long. It requires a squeeze and some balance to get through there. As I said, it was easy enough without a pack on. I'm trying to figure out here what my next move is. Because as much as I want to have fun out here and get further up the trail, I really don't want to get to the point where I'm pressing the SOS button on my inReach. So we're going to shut this off and explore. I'm actually going to go look at my Garmin and see where the heck I am. See where the river is. I don't know. The river's off to our right somewhere. I have no idea how far. I am here. My tent will be on that nice patch of river sand. I do not know where here is, but I will give you a tour. We have some woods over that way, but more importantly, we will slowly scroll this way where we have the Queets River a short distance away across a gravel bar. Coming around, we have the gravel bar looking up the river. Again, coming back to the woods on my other side. Beyond that row of trees, there is a meadow. Meadow with some scattered, with fairly dense alders in it, but it's still a meadow with passable. The trail is on the other side of that meadow. So the trail is probably at least 500 feet from here. So I am sort of here along the Queets River. Not quite sure how far up. I have some rough ideas, but this may be close to a place called Upper Crossing, but I've not yet been able to confirm that. But for tonight, this is all mine. There's, as far as I know, there's no one else in the meadow, or I've walked all the way up to the bend of the river. There appears to be no one else here. Spin around again. I walk down to where this sandbar, this gravel bar ends, and the river cuts back to the woods. There's no one there. So I think I am here by myself. Very comfortable with that. I've got brush on one side, a log there, so I'm not in a game path or anything. So the campsite's sort of protected from anything coming through in the night, although I'm sure any animal with a sense of smell knows there is something here that doesn't belong here. But I will take my food bag back into the woods there with a 25 feet of rope and get it up in a tree somewhere, but that has yet to be done. I've got about 45 minutes at most of daylight left, so we are going to stop the video here, get the tent set up, and then deal with the food bag. And got overcast skies, so I'm not sure whether we're going to see any stars tonight, but that is it for tonight. Alright, good morning, Tail Gunner here. We are going down the trail and we have just stumbled across something. This is like a "you've got to be kidding me" moment. As you can see the trail going on the other side. We've got this wide expanse, somewhat deep water, and looking up and downstream, I am not seeing any options. There's a side trail here. Sorry about the dirt jerk. I may go explore that side trail because right in front of me is a deep hole. The trail crossing is directly on the other side. But looking downstream, I don't see anything. So this is going to be a little bit of an interesting challenge here. It is a nice warm day, but I just like to stay as dry as possible. Anyway, we will turn this off, put the camera away, and see what we can do. Alright, Upper Queets River Trail. As you can see, the trail is not well used and the grass is sort of winning. I've actually had to come to a complete stop more than once and make sure I was on the trail. There's been a couple places where there's a washout, and to take the edge of the washout till I found where it went in. I don't know where you can see it in this picture or not, but up at the end of the straight stretch there is a red ribbon hanging from a tree. That's marking the trail. It's ablaze. It means I'm actually haven't gone totally lost yet. But in this area you're sort of looking for those red ribbons at times. Thanks to the trail crew that has left them. Otherwise, it would either be a lot longer day, or it might even be a more adventurous day of being lost. Alright, it's the dry season. I'm staying in the middle of the riverbed, but we have a log jam here that's like about 130 degrees sweep of logs. You can see it starts over there, log jam, then sweeps around this way, continuing around. In the middle is where it broke open, so that's where all the water went. And then we continue to sweep around, and here is the other end of the log jam. And if I flip the camera around, you basically would see the beginning of the log jam just about. So that's like about 160 degree, 180 degree sweep of a log jam around this with a break in the middle. Alright, Tail Gunner here, just a leisurely afternoon stroll here along the Queets River. The Queets River is right over there. Trail is along here through this grassy open area. Over here we've got various trees, a few firs and spruce. This is not too unusual of spots along the Queets River. Dip. There are spots where you're in heavy forests or areas that do have puds, which are pointless ups and downs, but for the most part, parts of the trail, large parts of the trail are flat, and you can every couple miles you will be adjacent to the river, so access to water is not a problem. Access to camping on sandbars is not a huge issue. I actually did a day hike because I wasn't sure about camping up here, but there's obviously a sandbar there that one could have stayed on. And occasionally you have red blazes. You see the red blaze there on the tree, indicating the trail is here, because you can see the grass is almost winning the battle this year. This is 2020, by the way. But you can sort of make out where the trail goes most of the time. Probably 95% of the time you know where the trail is, and the other 5% of the time you just gotta be observant that and see what makes sense. Oh, another dip. Maybe I should watch where I'm going. But I'm trying to go from still pictures to video. That seems to be the mode these days. And now I got all these branches down tree right here that I've somehow navigate without doing a face plant on camera. And yesterday, no, actually 2 days ago, someone reported seeing some young elk, which meant the herd was in the area, because the young elk wouldn't be by themselves. But I did not see them, and I have not heard sounds of the elk herd. Normally they would be running, so if they were close, I would hear them. But I have not heard them or encountered any other large animals. Small animals, insects, especially mosquitoes, are well accounted for today, and we are deploying the mosquito spray as needed. Alright, another type of trail condition you'll see along the Queets River. This is the trail. In fact, the only way I can tell is if I look down, I can see the beaten path among the ferns. Alright, Tail Gunner here, Queets River Epilog. This is actually filmed 2 weeks after the original trip. Sorry that I cut off so abruptly on the last day, but my camera actually ran out of memory. Coming out on that last day, I actually ran into a couple llamas packing chainsaws led by 2 Mile, I forgot the full name, and later checked with the Park Service. It might have been longtime Queets River volunteer Ernie Vale. So 2 Mile or Ernie, whoever you were, thank you for all your help on getting those blowdowns seen earlier in the video cleaned up. Also, my apologies that my artistic ability is not up to Dixie or Feathers, longtime YouTubers, but we all have to start somewhere. Normally I'm actually clean shaven, but this year is sort of doing the COVID beard, COVID and quarantine beard thing, and maybe a little bit of through hiker wannabe, but I'm stuck behind a desk for several more years staring at computer screens before I can get away for more than a week. But I will give a shout out to those who are on the trail this year. On the Appalachian Trail, I've been following Wander.Out.There and Camper 2020, Camper with a K, as well as my favorite hiker for this year on the Appalachian Trail, Wild on the Trail, another gray-haired gentleman like me. On the Pacific Crest Trail, been following Ken and Thia, Thia with spelled T-H-I-A, another older couple who sort of turned their through hike into a long section hike. So go ahead and hit that like button. You don't need to subscribe. I don't have very many more videos coming out. May have another video on the Dozier Alps River, Olympic National Park coming out later. But also let me know anything you want to see in future videos. You notice I don't mention a whole lot of gear because I really just hike with what I got. Sort of piled up over the years. Also, you don't want to do food because you don't want to see me show how to boil water and pour boiling water into a 4-load bag. As I mentioned, Tail Gunner is a reference to my years in the scouting programs, so any scout troops who want to consider doing the Queets River as an activity, reach out to me in the comments below and we'll hook up. Give me a few days because I don't check those comments every day. Alright, so we will wrap this up and say goodbye.